It seems that no matter where you go at the moment, you can't escape the sound of a chiff chaff. It'll call again in a minute. There we go. Very much a sound of spring, and there's another sound of spring with a male blackcap singing occasionally from the bramble that I'm stood at the side of. But this beautiful site is a local nature reserve here. It's Market Warsop. It's within 10 minutes walking distance of home, and it's somewhere that I've come to over the years on many occasions. I've had some good things here, but you may well be able to hear that there's some bad things in the background. And now, in order to get to this fabulous site, you have to go through this. 3 years ago I did a video before all this work started. Now it's well and truly started, and the ravages of development continue, and they continue to within 20 feet of where I'm stood. This is a site, like many others in Nottinghamshire and across the UK, that are under severe threat from development. Much of the site is like this. It's greatly undulating, being a former limestone quarry, and because it is on limestone, it's rare habitat in Nottinghamshire. There's only a thin sliver of limestone that Nottinghamshire lies on, and most of that is in the western parts of the county. This is very much an isolated pocket, but I've been struck by that blackthorn blossom. This is, I must admit, a wonderful year for blackthorn blossom. It seems to be a fabulous year, so we'll no doubt get a good fruiting year. The hawthorns in front of that blackthorn have yet to flower, but it looks equally as much as those hawthorns are going to flower to the same extent as the blackthorn. It really is a cracking year for blackthorn blossom. I think the whole year is going to be a really good blossom year, and consequently a good fruiting year. And as you can see, the extent of the housing right up to the very boundaries. That used to be a field, an agricultural field, a couple of years ago. How many more fields can we lose to housing development and solar panels? We can't keep on losing them at the rate we are. And of course, this all puts greater pressure on the wildlife that lives on hills and holes here in Market Warsop. Blackthorn's really a stunningly beautiful yet very simple flower. The nature's good at that. It keeps its design simple, none of these double or triple flowered flowers. Simple is best. And the scent that I'm surrounded by is just as marvellous as these flowers. There's something about a pure white flower. It's absolutely beautiful. It's just a shame that the beauty of this has to compare with the ugliness of what you can hear. This is a beautiful little spot here, and I found a patch of bluebells. All the evidence florally shows that this place was once woodland. Species like stitchwort lesser celandine, bluebell here, wood anemone, and dog violet too. All the ingredients for a typical woodland of these parts of Nottinghamshire. But these bluebells here look quite frankly beautiful against that limestone, and a fabulous aromatic smell of wild garlic. Absolutely beautiful. Wild garlic, of which there's a lot here, is just wonderful to walk amongst during this time of year, and especially when the flowers come out, because that heavy garlicky scent is just to die for, especially for someone that likes garlic the way I do. Beautiful. So is that. Now here's a beautiful beetle, if ever you see it, and it is indeed very common, at least locally in Nottinghamshire, often found on sorrel or particularly dock. And this is Gastrophysa viridula. I know it's a longish name, but it's a beautiful beetle. This isn't the best of lights that you're looking at this female, and this female is obese with eggs. Quite often, whenever you see a female of these, it's got a male on top of it. My first sighting of this species this year, but say immensely common, makes lots of holes on the leaves of docks especially, can almost strip plants in high numbers, and often close to water courses such as the River Meaden here. But it's a nice species, even though it's common. It's beautifully metallic green with coppery shades to it. Absolutely stunning little thing. Hills and Holes is really made up of two areas, the sort of main quarry and bit which I will be walking up to just up there, but alongside the River Meaden it's like this typical sort of riverine vegetation, but it's a smashing place just to walk around. And the good thing is, if you listen, you can hardly detect the sound of the builders and the builders' machinery. Can't escape it totally, but we can't have everything, the developers say. Well, I've had a pleasant hour just aimlessly wandering around Hills and Holes. I do love this particular site. Nice and handy, as I mentioned, it's close to home. But over the years it's changed. If ever any site needs a little bit of management, then it's here, because a lot of this habitat is now under the cover of an assortment of shrubs. It's mostly hawthorns here, and say some blackthorn as well, but it could do with opening up a little bit. And there seems to be a lot more of the bonfires that have been on here of late than what there has been over recent years. This area of limestone grassland is probably the best bit on here. There are other areas too. This is where all the good stuff is, or potentially is. But I've seen a nice array of butterflies today. Orange tips, green vein white, male and female brimstone, speckled woods, lots of peacocks. It's been very enjoyable. A nice way to pass a Saturday morning on. But while it's been enjoyable, at the same time it's forever tinged with sadness because of the works and the development that has gone on and has now encroached right up to the very boundary of this place. It's the perfect example of how a space given to protect nature, it can be put under the severest of threats. Threats that could come from that side of hills and holes as well. Nowhere is safe anymore. I think everything in today's world at least has a price. I don't think you can put a price on places like this. There again, I'm not a developer.